everybody, and welcome, all thanks to LD Mobile. This is NBL Overtime. There's a hell of a lot going on. You can get involved. Hashtag NBL Overtime anytime you wish. And I'm going to stop talking because we've got a lot to get into half hour. What up, man?
Happy birthday, man.
Did you buy me some of those sunglasses or not?
I wouldn't think you like this style.
Didn't that suit me?
No, probably not.
You know what? At least not lying. Liam Santamaria, hello to you. Studs and Duds is out at nbl.com.au, the NBL app. There's a lot going on. It's a bumper edition of it. Hello.
Do you do sunglasses inside, Cam?
I have never, ever, this is no joke, I've never worn sunglasses in my life, inside or outside. You know, even when I go to those 3D cinemas, I refuse to wear them.
So you've never lifted a weight, never done sunglasses?
Okay. No, I think I lifted a weight once. Not recently, though. You can get stuff, Liam. Hello to you. And hello to everyone else. nbl.com.au. There is a lot going on. We'll start with the ladder of the NBL Cup. I think that's the best place to start because it kind of gives us an accurate description how teams are actually going, and that's what ladders do in world sport as we look at Melbourne United on top of both the NBL Cup and the normal ladder. Perth are flying. We'll get to them in a moment. Same as Sydney, who are really good against Melbourne except for the last little minute. And South East Melbourne, Phoenix and Brisbane are starting to find their groove.
Look at the loss column for that team in second place. The Wildcats have gone whackety-whack in the NBL Cup over the three other teams that were in the finals last year. Melbourne, Sydney and Cairns. They are rolling.
Well, and that's something I think we should start with because you mentioned it there. We're talking about, and we do a lot, strength of schedule and teams you've got to play and all the rest of it. It means a big thing. But the Wildcats to get here, keeping in mind, if you remember what happened the last game, they played before the NBL Cup started. They were embarrassed by the Phoenix. I'm going to start with you, Homicide, because you're starting this whole Bryce Boomer thing, which I think a lot of people agree with. We're going to start with you. Why have the Wildcats all of a sudden been able to flick the switch and been so good?
I think after a butt whooping, the butt whooping that they took against the Phoenix, that was just a conversation. Gleason is going to have individuals after that game. Straight like that. Starting from the top. He's holding everybody accountable. And they knew, like, look, we can't have this type of performance. We're trying to go get our first three-peat. This is unacceptable. And I think that the switch flipped. You know, I was the first guy. I was like, yo, these guys ain't making playoffs. They're not only making playoffs. Make no mistake. They will. I'm not going to say what you probably think I'm going to say, but they will. Once Boomer Bryce gets naturalized, they'll be right there. They'll be right there.
What if
they'll be right there. The road goes through them.
What if
the road goes through them?
Brilliant.
The road goes through them.
What if he doesn't? They'll still make the four, in your opinion? If he doesn't get naturalised, they don't get another import in.
They'll make the four.
Okay, cool.
They'll make the four.
Now, Studs and Duds, before I let loose, or you let loose on the Wildcats, John Mooney's three-point, remarkable. You did give it a shout-out.
That's been enormous, isn't it? 10 from 14 on the season. Almost 30% as a senior last year from long range. So, you know, he could stroke it, but to be able to step out and shoot it like that to begin his NBL career has been enormous. He's obviously getting on the boards. We knew he would do that. They've got the infrastructure.
Yeah.
They've got the infrastructure. Trevor Gleason knows what he's doing, and they've been absolutely outstanding. Todd Blanchfield's playing that Tariko White role beautifully. Jesse Wagstaff doing a great job off the bench, hitting shots. And, you know, the young, Corey Shervill giving him good minutes.
Yes, he is.
Well, really
yes,
good
indeed, he is.
So Mitch Norton, he's taken his game to another level. What he did against Scott Machado the other night, well, that was outstanding. So, look, they've been absolutely sensational. You just got to tip your hat for how well they've been playing.
Their ability to be able to, and this is something that I think that we spoke a little bit about, coming into a unique situation on the road for such a long period of time, it can work for you or work against you. And it just seems like it's worked for the Wildcats. They're very familiar with, as you touched on, the infrastructure of the team and the way they go about it. John Mooney, who we all knew was going to clean the glass like a demon, but didn't realise offensively he was going to be this solid this quickly. And it just seemed to click. And they're buying into, as so many of them do on a year-in-year basis. And we shouldn't be surprised. We're probably not surprised, but they are going extremely well.
And the thing I love about John Mooney, he's in this kind of sweet spot, the same sweet spot that Jayshawn Tate was in last year in his career, or that Cam Oliver was in last year, where they're coming to this league to prove something. And John Mooney, as a result, just is playing so hard every single possession. This is the thing that's so amazing about Bryce Cotton. He has nothing left to prove in this league, and yet he still plays that way. And as a result, they're for a team that just plays long possessions offensively. It can be a bit of a grind sometimes. They're a beautiful thing to watch because of the way they play the game.
Talking about a beautiful thing to watch, and it hasn't been all roses for the New Zealand Breakers for so long, and we're very well aware of what they're having to go through playing away from their home in their home country, away from their families. But that first quarter was a beautiful thing to watch. Unless you're an Adelaide 36ers fan, we've been waiting for this Ty Webster, Corey Webster thing to really click, go to that next level, and it did. And you don't have to be a Breakers hardcore fan to enjoy what happened in that first 10 minutes.
I mean, that was a flat-out massacre from the go. This is a great moral victory for this organization. They've been through a lot. I mean, no one's had it bad or worse than they have. And for them to come out and get this type of start in a game and victory, it was only a matter of time when everything just went right for them. A lot of things have been going absolutely wrong. And, you know, I'm just happy that they got the win in the manner that they did. They deserve to win a game like this because morally, you don't want to see it. I know it's professional sport. I know you got a game to do, you got a job to do. But I'm just glad that as a team, they all felt really good and happy. The whole bench was up, the staff was up, and, you know, at some point you knew it was going to click. I'm just glad it clicked this way. Morally, confidence-wise, it'll pick them up.
And it was a perfect storm for them, wasn't it? With Isaac Humphries going down, that kind of opened things up even more. And you're right, it was lovely to see all those smiles on that team. And for them not to just get a win, but to just to thump a team, make a bit of a statement. And hopefully it can be something that they can build on from here. And the thing, I wrote about this yesterday, the thing I really liked about this right from the opening tip was Ty Webster. I loved aggressive Ty Webster. He has to play like that because he's that level of guy. Players can't stay in front of him. He's so tough to guard, but he has to be looking to get everyone involved early. You see that with Sydney, with Casper Ware these days. He's looking to get everyone involved. Bryce Cotton, if there's attention coming to me, I'm just going to pitch it out. And in that first quarter, he had 7 assists in the first term. Penetrate, pitch. Delaney gets a look. Abercrombie gets a look. Big Bro gets a look. Colton Iverson rolling to the rim. Now they stay at home. Now he's laying it up. That's how he needs to approach the first quarter, get everybody involved. And then, of course, he can still pile on the points. 29 points, but he's got to be in that double-digit assist range as well for that team to hum.
But they're a team that play very instinctively, or that's when they play their best basketball, I think. And I think we did see, while it's a bit of a different personnel, we've seen that a lot in the second half of last year, playing on instincts and everyone gets involved that way. That's the first time I've actually thought this year. It's not easy to do when the pressure is mounting or you're just trying to gel with new teammates or whatever it might be under a new coach for a couple of these guys. That's the first time I thought this team is playing instinctively, and that is Ty Webster being able to have the confidence to be able to find teammates, whatever it might be. Corey Webster, they're not second-guessing themselves. And that's the first time for 4 quarters, in particular that first 2.5 quarters when the game was there to be won and was done and dusted pretty early. That's the first time I've actually looked at it and thought, they're just balling rather than overthinking things right now.
And playing at a good tempo too. I mean, we talked about they need to push the ball. Ty Webster, Corey Webster for the Tall Blacks, that's a fast tempo team. And I think they look much better like that. It was really, it's addition by subtraction in terms of Lamar Patterson right now because they're just playing, they need to play more like that, up-tempo, free-flowing, and hopefully they can put a few wins together.
All right, let's talk about the team they beat convincingly, because Adelaide were really good early in the year. We know that they had a slate of home games and it probably helped just a little bit, but they were playing great. Isaac Humphries was, in the eyes of many, led by this man and the early MVP candidate. We know what Josh Giddey can do and we continue to work through. We've got a new import not far away, but things have turned downhill quickly. The hub hasn't worked. Isaac Humphries out for a while. Jack Purchase is going to come in and fill that spot, but it's going to be hard to do considering how good Humphries has been. The new import is still a week away. I'm going to start with you, Liam. Can you pinpoint what has happened to this team over the last couple of weeks?
They're just not that good. They're not that good. I said at the start of the year that they were going to be one of the teams down the bottom end of the ladder, and they got off to that fast start. You asked the question at that point, did we underestimate the 36ers? And I said, look, yeah, maybe a little bit, but let's not start talking about these guys as championship contenders or anything like that. This team's just not at that level, unfortunately. This roster's not at that level. This guy's playing well.
He was huge.
Jack McVeigh, he's going to play more minutes. So things were already starting to get kind of real for this team when the games were coming thick and fast and they weren't playing at home. And now with Isaac Humphries going down, they're in a big hole.
Right, I agree for most of that, okay? But their first quarters have been an abomination. Like I'm not surprised that they didn't beat Melbourne United and they didn't beat New Zealand over the last couple of days. But when you roll out and you're 26 down in the first 10 minutes against both teams, in particular New Zealand, who haven't been that good, although that was by far their best game, that's a concern. It's a monstrous concern. And Homicide, you've been in situations, no doubt, where things aren't rolling from the opening tip. Is there anything, do you think they can pinpoint? Is it a mindset thing? Is it a, hey, we're a bit tired right now, we take a little while to get into it? Because those first 10 minutes in both games have essentially cost them any chance of beating Melbourne United, although they were pretty admirable in the second half to make it a bit of a game, and they weren't even close to New Zealand.
Well, it's a couple of things that's alarming to me. They never got out of first gear in their last game, and they got their asses whipped. Against Melbourne United, they didn't get out of first. It was 36-10. I was calling that game with Gaze, and we're like, you're down 36-10. The effort was great after that, but it's too late. It's an uphill battle against a championship contending team. You're not going to win that game. You may win points, cool. But you would think, as a team, you would learn from this playing 2 days later, right? Let's not start like that again. And you never got out of first gear. Isaac Humphries goes down. Look, great player. Here's what's happening. They don't have any three-point shooting. Their big three is Giddey, DJ, and Isaac Humphries. Guess what teams are doing? Just pack the paint. They got to beat us from the outside. They don't have consistent three-ball shooters. Game over. If your strength is interior scoring, pack the paint in, let them beat us from the three. They beat us from the three, we live with that. They're not beating nobody from the three. And their defense sucks. They're looking like cans right now on defense. They can't, and Humphries is out, 4-6.
4-6.
It's over. Next subject, yo. It's over.
Well, help is on the way.
Help is on the way. Who's coming?
In Brandon Paul.
Yeah.
Right.
They ain't got no big man now.
But that's the problem right now, is they could. They
Look at him. He's actually just.
He's actually.
He's got Adelaide's out.
And you know what? So he should, because with Humphrey, I mean, that's if you're. Brandon Paul's going to not be here for this week's game. They play Illawarra and Cairns, two teams desperate
for a win
to get back on track, especially the Hawks, who they play first up. Man, they're...
It's a wrap.
Yeah, they're in big trouble this week.
As I did mention, 4-6 for Humphries, as we mentioned. Jack Purchase comes in, Melbourne United player the last couple of years as a DP, and he'll come in, but he's not going to be able to do what Isaac Humphries does. Brandon Paul's going to be able to let this thing fly, and he's going to have to do it the moment he gets out of quarantine, isn't he?
I think he's going to have any trouble. I think he's going to let it fly, but they're going to get hurt on the interior. I mean, they got DJ, Jack McVeigh's, he's an undersized four-man. He's going to get plenty of time to rock right now. Keanu Pinder's not getting it done. They're in big trouble.
I'd start McVeigh. Only because you know he's going to bring energy from the opening tip, something they've really sorely lacked the last couple of weeks. But
they have to start McVeigh. Yeah. He needs to be playing more minutes than Keanu Pinder.
Now, got some good news for Adelaide 36ers fans.
Whoa.
Well, they may not love it, but they'll love this shoe because our JD Sneaker of the Week is in fact Josh Giddey, the PG 2.5 PlayStation. Have a look at that. All thanks to JD Sports. Have a look. Would you wear them, Homicide?
PlayStation sneakers?
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear them, but they're cool, though.
What are you, an Xbox guy?
I don't even play video games.
Big
but
sneakerhead,
they're
Josh
cool.
Giddey.
He is?
And you know what I like about Josh Giddey? Sneaker collection, he's got some of the old school stuff.
Well, he's going to like this because all thanks to JD Sports Sneaker of the Week. Look what they're bringing back this Saturday. Iverson, 20-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
But why not us?
Wow.
Of course, man. AI went nuts in that 2001 All-Star game. It was a huge year for Allen Iverson and the 76ers. He was the MVP. They were 20 down. Him and Marbury went nuts.
Now, those are fire.
20th anniversary. They are back. They launch this Saturday at JD. And if you're not Homicide, who's quick to it, you miss out, as Liam and I are still trying to get some. Online selected stores. For more information at Secure Repair, head to jd-sports.com.au.
JD Sports must be the kings of the throwbacks. Week after week.
It's cool.
I like it.
You going to get these, Homicide?
We need to get involved.
I mean, like, when are we going down there, fellas? When we going?
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty quick. It's going to be pretty quick. All right, a team that is struggling just a little bit are the Illawarra Hawks. They were 4-0. Now they're starting to struggle in the NBL Cup. Pretty disappointing weekend. Brian Gorge in a little bit of frustration. Talk to me here, Liam. Talk to me what's going on here, because they started the year, there was a situation where Jessup and Hayfield were almost unstoppable, unguardable, in particular in transition, that pull-up three. Brisbane will touch on in a moment, but Illawarra have definitely fallen in a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, look, a collection of things. Bit of fatigue, playing a lot of games in a short period of time, but look, all teams are dealing with that. This is a heavily scouted league. Harvey and Jessup and what they were doing to get those guys open and how these guys were getting shots took teams by a little bit of surprise in the first month of the season, and now teams are doing a much better job of restricting those guys. And also, and here's the late game situations.
Yeah.
But they had a shot to win that game if they had played it correctly. So things aren't, really bad, but they're having a bit of trouble also chemistry-wise and rotation. Sometimes when the rotation is tight, just as a result of who you've got available, things can flow, and bringing Adelaide and Cambesto into the mix is, as good as those guys are or can be in Adelade's case, it's sort of thrown things out of whack a little bit. That they really, really need to either get him going or not play him as much.
No, they need to. I said this last week. They need to get him going, and it's not as easy as it can be said. But the fact is, HODGSON, and I'll direct this to you, he was the highest profile signing they had in the off-season. We were excited about seeing him, not just in a Hawks jersey, but in the NBL, heading towards the Olympic Games and being a part of that Boomers team. And he hasn't, for different reasons early, of course, with the injury. But they can't go deep into this season without him being the Adelaide we know he can be.
Well, one thing that is alarming to me is they need to get him going. How about he needs to get himself going? These guys are hired guns. What did you see he was for this team? A marquee player, right? Okay, well, if you're a marquee player, get yourself going. How many times are we going to sit here and say this? You understand what I'm saying? Get yourself going. You on the court, you getting shots. What more can a coach do? Coach can't put the ball in the hole for you. Get him going is doing what? Giving him minutes. Get him going is doing what? Getting him looks. Do your job, yo. Nobody's asking you to do nothing more. Do your job. The same thing I said about Humphreys and DJ, right? It's the opposite on this team, which means guard the Splash Brothers, stop them, you win. He's the guy that's going to have to break them, take the pressure off of that backcourt and set them free. You're not making shots. That's why y'all losing. That's the reality of it. Ain't no other way to paint this, say all this other stuff. Time to get to work. You ain't healthy no more. I mean, you're not hurt anymore. Time to get to work. Show us why you was in the league. Show us why what you was doing at Louisville. You on home soil. It's time to put on. That's it. Ain't no, they need to get him going. Get yourself going, yo. Get yourself going.
And I think the mindset for Adelaide, obviously, it needs to be that, but it needs to be the same as what we've seen this from Anthony Drimmick in the last little period of time. It's the same thing that Kawatnoy needs to think about when he gets on the floor. It's the same thing that Scotty Hopson needs to think about. These guys on the wings around the league. Defense and rebounding. Locked down. Right now, he's getting blown by defensively, and Gorge is like, I got to put Justin Simon back out there on the floor. You got to come back out of the game. Stay in front of the ball, get deflections, be an impact guy defensively, get on the glass so you can spark transition, and then the offense will flow. That's how all those guys need to approach the game when they step out on the floor, and that's the mindset Adelaide needs to take right now.
I've got a question. It's not about the Hawks or Adelaide. It's about Nathan Sobey, okay? So he's not in the Boomer squad. Is there anything stopping Brian Gorge from adding him? There's no rule, is there?
Don't think so.
No. He is having an outstanding, the stats tell it. They're winning some games now. They're playing a lot better. They're starting to ease into it. I'm going to start with you because I see you on social media the other day going nuts. I cannot believe that he hasn't yet been added to the Boomer squad, considering there's nothing that stops him from being announced into it. And he is doing it under the nose of the Australian coach.
Well, you continue to do it until they make them make a move. They will ignore you until they can't. Keep cutting their asses. That's exactly what he's doing. He's a great two-way player. He's hitting the three. He's passing the ball. He's getting to the spaces that he wants to. There's nobody stopping him from doing whatever he wants to do, import or local. And Angry Nathan Sobey is my favorite type of player.
Let me just clarify this, Liam, before I let you. I'm not saying he will definitely make the Boomers 12. I'm simply saying
he needs to be in that camp.
He deserves a chance to be in that camp.
He needs to be in that camp.
And you know what happens at Boomers camps? Somebody bolts from the rough and makes. That's what happens almost every Boomers camp. Someone comes from nowhere, and then we saw that with kind of who did we see about Xavier Cooks? Nick Kay, these guys at the last Boomers camp. And then what we saw is a guy like Mitch Creek thinks, well, I didn't make the team, I'm out, and then he gets the call, and then he's off to the World Cup. If you're Nathan Sobey, just keep on keeping on. Just keep on playing this way. Someone will get hurt. Devin Booker's in the All-Star game now, right? Because he didn't get originally selected, and then now he gets put into that spot because someone can't go.
Someone doesn't have to get hurt for him to be in the squad to go to the camp.
Well, they're things that he can't control.
No, I agree.
But maybe that's the way the Basketball Australia and Brian Gorge are looking at it. Look, we got 24. It's going to be 24 on the day, and if someone gets hurt, we'll call someone else up. And if that's the way they're looking at it, then that's the way it is.
They might be.
He just needs to keep playing the way he's playing because he is doing a beautiful job with that team of not just scoring the ball, second in the league at scoring, but doing it at an efficient clip and recently really moving the ball and getting everyone else involved.
No, I'd have him in the squad in front of McDowell White, who I do like as a player, but hasn't exactly shown us on a consistent basis.
Well, in front of a whole bunch, in front of Dengadell now.
Well, that is very true. Either way, I can't believe he's not in it. I think he will be.
I know who ain't.
At some point, he'll make the camp.
I know who ain't on it. That's gonna be Boomer Bryce.
Well, that's another thing as well. Currently not in it. All right, Sydney. We know how they're struggling with some injuries. Casper Ware's been outstanding. Gave themselves every opportunity to beat Melbourne. The last minute didn't go well, but they're right there. So the frustration for the Kings fans, who are already a little bit probably annoyed when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. Liam, talk us through this last couple of, last 2 minutes for Sydney, because Casper looked like he was going to do Casper things.
Well, they're playing with great heart. And you tip your hat to Adam Ford, like we said this time last week, but love to see Casper Ware making clutch plays. Yes, he missed the final shot, but look at these 3 straight buckets in the paint, which is why I think if you're a Kings fan, you're a little annoyed that in this moment, look at the lane. The lane's wide open. Yes, you've got Shea Yili in front of you, and that in itself is a big, big problem. But put some pressure on the defense, put some pressure on the refs, put some heat on the rim to go and try to win that game. And you talk about an angry Nathan Sobey is the best type of Nathan Sobey, an aggressive, penetrating, getting feet in the paint Casper Ware is the best type of Casper Ware. And I think right now, when the game is on the line, that's what needs to be going through his head.
Any words before the top 10?
I got words.
Hit me.
Shout out to JOCK LANDALE. You know, sometimes when a guy is like really, really good, right? An exceptional player, we tend to not talk about it because we expect him to do that and be that, right? Yo, swagger, energy, passion, game. And he talks that talk. There is nothing I don't love about him, yo. There is absolutely nothing I don't love about him. Because when you think about it, they were doubling him all night. He got busy at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, real play. Yo, listen, real recognize real. I shout you out, homie. Keep killing.
2 things.
Enjoy this man while he's here, because he ain't going to be here long.
2 things. Let's not forget who predicted him to be the MVP of the league.
You did.
Also, I'm pretty certain he's part of the top 10, all thanks to Aldi Mobile.
Round 7 is done. Let's have some fun at your Aldi Mobile NBL Top 10. At number 10, Nathan skates in for the steal, then dish it. On the fast break to Matt HODGSON, who makes the house shake. HODGSON just balling with the slam on Sam FROLING. Brisbane gets in at number 10. We love a redemption story on the NBL Top 10. At 9, just look who goes flying. Sam FROLING takes flight for the southpaw spike. Just a little hesitation before showing off that levitation for the Deck Nation. The Sam Jam in at number 9. On to number 8, and Justin busting out the hops to swat this shot. Kendall Stevens better start believing. He tossed that up like he thought he had a swish, but Simon sent it back like it was week-old fish. Justin Simon gets in at number 8. At 7, with just a tick left on the shot clock, the Kings get Vasiljevic the rock, and he gets the long shot to drop. This DJ is spinning the hits, so with a buzzer beater at hand, you know he's not gonna miss. DJ Vasiljevic in at number 7. For the number 6 play, is it fair to say that the kid learned this move from the legend Coach K? Jack got Isaac Humphries begging please as White met him at the plateau, then pinned his shot against the window. Jack White getting in with the defense at number 6. We're up to number 5, and it's that time in the countdown, people. Space Cam with the great slam from the top of the steeple. Your weekly dose of Oliver Bliss, and with this pass from Jurek, he's not gonna miss. Cam Oliver, of course, in the countdown. He's in at number 5. It's Melbourne's turn at number 4, and when your parents name you Jock, you better hammer the rock. Hungrier than a stray dog in a barbecue, the big fella Landale is coming through. Jock Landale rising and shining. He's in at number 4. On to number 3, and the young star Giddy turns it over, but oh my Josh, look at the kid track back and take that candy at the rack. Trying for the stump, but it wasn't enough for Sam McDaniel, who doesn't land well as he ends up on the floor and doesn't get the score. Josh Giddey with the rejection in at number 3. We're up to number 2, where Kyle Adnam is drawing 2 defenders, setting up Yanni Wetzel to put the Hawks in the blender. Catching more bodies than a graveyard, it's the pretzel going hard at the rim to get in at number 2. But at number 1, it's Orlando delivering the magic. There's no survivors with this high flyer. Johnson drops in from way above the rim, gliding right past the great Cam with the slam to land at number 1 on the NBL. Turn it!
Well, thanks to LD Mobile. That is the top 10 if you want to check it out again. And, well, nothing better than just relaxing on a non-game day at NBL. Jump on and check it out, nbl.com.au. All right. Big deep breath.
It's back.
It's back. I'm bringing yes or no. Very slowly back. Very, very slowly. But we're going to start with you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Jordan Hunter, 24 points. Career high, 9-9 shooting. Was that more impressive than Kyle Adnam's game, where he started point guard and, of course, had 13 assists?
Yes.
Yes or no? Do you like the coach's challenge?
No.
How come?
Hold on, is this yes or no? What is this?
Might come back to it if we got time. Crocker, unsportsmanlike foul. Yes or no?
No, that's not an unsportsmanlike foul.
Now, just we're going to show this.
We watching the whole thing?
We're going to watch the whole thing, I think.
Do you know what? If you're going to attack the rack hard, then the defense can attack the ball hard.
Which is what we want, isn't it?
That's
Not
what
just
we want.
in this particular in basketball right around the world. All right, yes or no? Ryan Brokoff, we expect him to play throwdown, first game, next Wednesday. Will Phoenix be favourites against Melbourne United?
No.
Wildcats, can they win the title if Bryce Cotton doesn't get naturalised?
No.
Not at all? All right. Let's just touch on the coach's challenge, because it is a conversation that is continuing. You go first, Liam.
Yeah, look, I don't like it. I agree with Brian Gorgon, his comments about bringing it in mid-season. That's where I sit on that. And also, the reviews right now for out of bounds and all that all through the game, let's bring that back to the last 2 minutes, go back to where we were for mine. Right now, I feel like the coaches' challenges, the reviews, there's a lot of focus when you're watching the game on the calls, and I want the focus to be more on the plays.
Agreed.
The players.
I don't like, every time there's something happens, the players ask for a review, and it seems like we go to it way too often. And on the coach's challenge, I don't mind the idea of it, but it has to be all decisions that can be made. And there was one, hand through the rim. That stuff's got to be able to be challenged, not just fouls. We've got 20 seconds, Homicide. You have the last word.
Get that man naturalized all the way and put Boomer Bryce on that Boomers team, B. He is going to Tokyo. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm pushing this campaign every chance I get. Bryce Cotton needs to be on that Boomers team.
Hashtag NBL Overtime. We're getting out of here. NBL Cup's going nuts. Look at this. I'll go to throw it straight out of core. But you know what I'll do? Coach, you tell me.